Hello, hello. We have got a rematch tonight of this exciting ZVZ between our green Zerg yellowjellow and his red Zerg opponent kevinnleee. So once again, this is a rematch. These guys played each other a couple weeks ago in a ZVZ, and yellowjellow actually took that one 3-1 back then. Not the outcome most people probably would have expected, but yellowjellow, he certainly believed in himself and pulled off the upset victory there. Pretty dominating games, in fact. But anywho, this is a new day, a new series on new maps. This map gonna be Pride of Altaris. Now I don't think either player is really too familiar with this map. Just came out, just entered the ladder pool a few days ago. Don't really know if they've really had a chance to play too many games on it. But a few quick things to note about this map. It is massive. Look at how long it takes to get to the other side of the map. So definitely leads to some longer macro-oriented gameplay. The main base in the corner, go down a ramp to your natural base, and then down another ramp to the potential thirds, and then down another ramp into kind of the main area. There's a watchtower in the middle. You see this cool little Protoss vessel thing down there through the window. Not too much going on in the early game, so we have some time to talk about this map. yellowjellow, I think he went for a pool first, that's why his hatch is just a little bit later. He also went for the drone scout, so that's going to put him behind just a tiny bit. Does sneak in and get a drone. Wow, nice pickoff from yellowjellow. You do see he's just a tiny bit behind on the workers, not the end of the world, of course. And both players getting their speed. yellowjellow's actually a little bit behind because he didn't get the gas that early. And Kevin gonna be going for the baneling nest, and yellowjellow did not spot that. So he is gonna need to identify a baneling attack might be coming. And oh, what is this? Overlord from Kevin getting a little ambitious there. Not sure what that was all about. If that was intentional from Kevin to do a little bit of scouting. But now this Overlord at risk of going down, and I do think it's gonna go down. Nice pick off there, but here come the Lings. Does yellowjellow have enough? Barely, yes, and with the reinforcing Lings from the main base, he is able to hold that off for now, but Kevin gonna be morphing in banelings. yellowjellow does spot this, so he's gonna need to come up with something. His own baneling nest not quite done, and he's going for a wall, but is it gonna be in time? No, it's not. Oh! Zerglings kind of running into the Banes. Oh no, the army control from yellowjellow, leaving a lot to be desired. But what was it? Oh no! Kevin pulling a yellowjellow there, crashing the Banes into the hatchery. And that is massive. That might have cost Kevin the game right there. As now yellowjellow going to be able to hold off the onslaught from Kevin. And canceling the wall, leaving the roach horn because he wants roaches in the future. But wow, that was such a huge mistake there from Kevin. Maybe just right clicking on the hatchery by accident with all those banelings. That was definitely a yellowjellow move. Kevin sometimes making fun of yellowjellow for doing that in his games, but pulling that himself this time. Now yellowjellow on the counter offensive, gonna start working on this wall. I don't really like that. There's two queens back here. They are just having their way with the zerglings. One of these spine crawlers did go down, but yellowjellow losing so many lings, getting practically 0 done right there. Not the greatest move in my opinion. But he did apply a little bit of pressure, didn't get anything, so Kevin's gonna be feeling pretty happy about that. He's going for a layer, almost done there, and gonna have to see what Kevin goes for. He is getting 2 more gases, so it might just be a 2-base layer Mutalisk build. Yellowjellow not going for a layer himself, not going for a third either, so it looks like he just wants to try to end the game, and he has a pretty big opportunity here. 38 army supply to only 13, now 19 from the Kevin, as he has started 12 more zerglings. But is it too late? The roaches are knocking at his front door already. The spine crawlers go down and the wall is open. The roaches come in. Lings are gonna pop out. 3 queens on the defense. Is it gonna be enough? And yes, it looks like just barely Kevin is gonna be able to hold this off. 2 additional roaches, not sure what they were hoping to accomplish, but they go down as well. So good defense from Kevin, who is now getting his Spire. And curiously enough, on this massive macro map, we are seeing 2 bases. We are seeing non-stop aggression as yellowjellow gearing up for yet another wave. And will this be able to do the trick? Kevin's Spire still not done. He's floating a lot of resources, hoping to get up to those Mutalisks. Is yellowjellow gonna allow him to get up there though? As the lings and roaches have reached the base once again, and this time not enough lings. The queens have gone down. Drones forced to fight as well. The Spire is done, but Kevin, he has produced a lot of zerglings, so he has no larva to make any mutas right now. And it looks like with these lings coming out, he is going to be able to hold once again. Wow, what a defense. And now 5 mutas on the way. Some more units from yellowjellow kind of rallying to their deaths right now. Once again, the control not quite there from yellowjellow. Using a lot of his units, but more coming in, and that might be enough. Hold on. Mutas are going to pop now, however, so these units going to be on a timer. Yeah, these mutas going to be able to clean things up. Yellowjellow now desperately trying to throw down some spores back at home. He did go for his lair, so he can throw down a Hydralisk Den or a Station Pit, get some more queens perhaps, so I don't think he'll die to these mutas. And worker count dead even right now at 34. 9 minutes into the game, we are still on 2 bases from Kevin. Yellowjellow does have his third, but barely mining there. And he's continuing to rally slow roaches across the map, and they're not really going to do too much as there are a lot of mutas in the sky right now, but what they are accomplishing is they're buying time. These mutas have just been stuck on Kevin's side of the map, and that's allowed yellowjellow to get up his anti-air defense back at home. So he should be pretty safe back at home. And things are gonna slow down a bit now. I don't think either player can really kill the other player. Yellowjellow's gonna try, however. A lot of lings, and that's kind of a waste. Lings and muta's gonna be more than enough to defend against those. And now. These mutas, there's quite a lot of them. Holy moly, 15 on the map already, 6 more on the way. And they could actually just dive on top of these spore crawlers. Is he gonna go for it? No, not gonna do it. Gonna respect that, and that's a good choice, I think. He would have to sacrifice a few mutas if he decides to go for that. Instead, he's just gonna be really annoying, gonna pick off what he can. And yellowjellow trying to go for another counterattack with a lot of lings. And can he cancel this base? I think he could get it if he went for it, but no, the mutas, so many of them. Oh my goodness, yellowjellow is gonna need a lot of anti-air. He is going up to the Hydralisk den, but he's gonna need a lot of hydras. And yellowjellow, he is now trying to saturate his third base. Kevin has also produced a lot of drones. The lings of yellowjellow making their way into the main of Kevin. Gonna find a single queen and not a whole lot else. Not really worth it over there. But he might have spotted that baneling nest wiggling, researching the baneling's speed, which is an excellent counter to Hydralisks, which are light units. And ooh, lots of overlords ripe for the picking. Kevin doesn't go for it. One Hydralisk misrallied once again. Yellowjellow, your control is questionable. And one Hydra, yeah, not the end of the world, but that's 50 gas and I think 100 minerals. I'm not even sure, but it's not free is the point. And down that poor thing goes. Just melts into acid. And 2 Hydras here. What were they doing? Yellowjellow, please. And things are kind of spiraling out of control for the green Zerg right now. There's so many mutas in the air. He could, once again, just right-click on the spore crawlers and take them down pretty quickly. He's not going to go for that. But still, these mutas, absolutely a force to be reckoned with in the skies right now. Yellowjellow going for the infestation pit. So if he can get a big, juicy fungal growth on those mutas and then close the show with the Hydralisk, that is one path to victory for him. And once again, the rallies over here, a couple drones chilling with the army. They wish they were born army units, but I don't know. I don't think you really want to be an army unit in this game. Better off just doing your work, mining your minerals. And now Kevin going for a huge attack. I see zero way for yellowjellow to defend against this right now. That is what we call in the industry a shit ton of banelings. 53 to be exact. Holy moly. And in they go rolling. And he can right click on the hatchery if he so chooses. He can just steamroll everything and in they go. So much carnage, and that is gonna be it, folks. Expect a GG any second now. Yellowjellow going for a rather pathetic counterattack. Banelings once again crashing into the hatchery. And yeah, those Hydras don't stand a chance. GG gets called. kevinnleee gonna take game numero uno. Welcome back to game numero dos in this CrayZvZ series between our green Zerg player, yellowjellow, and his red Zerg opponent, kevinnleee. So Kevin running away with game number one with a muta build, but he did have to work for it. He had to hold off several waves of aggression from yellowjellow. And don't forget, it started off with a failed Ling Bane attack from Kevin. So fireworks already in this series. Game number two gonna be contested on hardwire LE. This is certainly a smaller map compared to the last one. Both players going to be going for a hatchery first, but Kevin, very low drone count. So wait, what is he doing here? He went for like a 12 hatch, followed by gas and pool. Not really sure what this is. Didn't catch the exact timings for it. Maybe it was the Scarlet fake out build. I don't remember the exact timings for that, but his pool is done. He's able to start speed right away. But yellowjellow did spot. Oh, he didn't go into the main. Okay, so he doesn't know about this. Kevin, a bit of mind games right now. Yellowjellow thinks it's a hatch first, and I mean, yeah, it was, but there's going to be a lot of lings on the way for Kevin. And this Overlord, not really in the ideal spot. Typically in ZVZ, you want your first Overlord somewhere out here so you can spot stuff coming out. And now Kevin, he is just producing lings, nothing but lings, and as soon as this speed finishes, perhaps a few seconds before, he's going to start running across the map, and yellowjellow is going to have a very difficult hold on his hands. He will... Oh, he does run up with some Zerglings. He's going to spot this, so he needs to produce a lot of defenses right now, yellowjellow, and he does go for a wall, but it's not fully sealed. The lings are on their way. Yellowjellow gonna need... No, I don't think this is a wall off, and oh no, this is bad. The lings are able to spill through, and that is disastrous for the green Zerg. They are just running in. Nice control there actually from yellowjellow, putting his queen tucked in there so the lings don't get the perfect surround, but still, is that going to be enough? I don't know. Some decent control from yellowjellow, fighting with his lings and drones all together. He might hold, but Kevin continuing to stream lings across, and yellowjellow, I think he might barely hold, and if he fights right now with the broodlings, maybe, but no, good awareness from Kevin, pulling back. And yellowjellow needs to get some more defenses right now. He has a single roach, that's not really that good. Roaches in small numbers do not beat Zerglings. You do need quite a lot of roaches to really contest in that department. And drones forced to fight once again. Zerglings rally to nowhere, and GG gets called. So Kevin gonna take a quick game number 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. Alright, we are loaded into game number 3 in this series. It's gonna be once again the green Zerg, yellow jello up against the red Zerg, kevinnleee. So Kevin with a tricky, aggressive Ling rush build last game. Took yellow jello by surprise and just overwhelmed with Zerglings. Game number 3. Gonna be played on Glittering Ashes. Once again, a new map, and this is also kind of large map. Not as big as our first map, Pride of Altaris, but still a lot of bases that can potentially be taken. I don't think most of them will come into play in this game. Yellow jello going for a spawning pool first. Just trying to do a little bit of harassment with that drone scout. And he does go into the main this time, so he does spot that there is no super fast pool or anything like that. So kind of curious why he still went for the spawning pool first. This isn't really going to get anything done. Kind of just puts himself behind as his gas is delayed, his hatchery is delayed. So I don't love the opening for yellow jello, but I guess he prefers to be safe. And Kevin going for a pretty standard hatchery first opening. And once again, new map. Don't really know the ins and outs of it just yet, but at first glance there is a lot of pathways. This way, that way, up the ramp, down the ramp, choke point here through the smoke, some rocks that can be broken down. Cute little lava critter here, don't really know what that is, but you can't click on it or anything. Yellow jello gonna be running across with 4 Zerglings. Might get a drone here. Does get 1 drone. Nice pick off there. Can he get another? Looks like no, and he's actually gonna run into the main. Gonna sacrifice all these lings for some scouting information. And he does see the spawning pool wiggling. He does see the gas still mining. So what is yellow jello going to do with that information? He's going to throw down a baneling nest, and looks like that overlord from yellow jello venturing a little too far, gonna get picked off. So a bit of a mistake there. And Kevin has his overlord out here. Could potentially lose that if yellow jello decides to go after it. Now speed is done for Kevin, not quite done yet for yellow jello, so he's gonna lose a lot of these lings just trying to run away. Would be probably better to just fight, as only 3 are gonna be able to get away. And once again forced to go for a wall. And Kevin has a lot of lings right now, but also a lot of drones. So I'm curious what exactly yellow jello has been doing this whole time. It's not like an all-in from Kevin by any means. As we do see him sitting on a healthy drone lead, up at 32. He already has his layer done. And yellow jello, I don't know what he was really doing. He was getting his baneling nest. I suppose he was gearing up for an attack, which is coming now, and now it's Kevin's turn to go for a wall up. We're gonna get some of the lings on the outside, but 2 queens behind this, 2 spine crawlers as well, so I don't think yellow jello is gonna be able to break this, and he's gonna lose a lot of lings in the process. I don't like this. Why sacrifice so many lings to do nothing? And now Kevin with his spire about halfway done. Only working on 2 gases right now. It's the ones in the natural. Not been taken just yet. They are coming down now, but a bit late there, so by the time this spire finishes, I think Kevin will have enough money for, I don't know, 6 mutas maybe? And yellowjellow is droning back up now. He's got 4 evolution chambers at the front. And he is preemptively getting spore crawlers. Wise choice, knowing that that's probably the follow-up from Kevin, and 6 mutas on the way indeed. And this is going to be a tough game for yellowjellow, as he did sacrifice a lot in the early game. But he does have his spores, so probably won't be taking too much damage from the mutas. Of course, they can always find an angle. For example, over here perhaps, they can fly back here, get that baneling nest maybe. And yellowjellow gonna confirm that with those lings. Mutas gonna make their way for the main. I think they could have gotten some overlords, but ooh, Kevin following this up with a Nidus network, so he is not going all in on the mutas. Only 6 still on the map, but he is gonna try to Nidus probably somewhere in the main here, using the vision from the mutas. And he does find an angle there to pick off that extractor. Doesn't lose anything except a little bit of HP on that muta, so nicely done there, finding some damage. And oh, Kevin actually dropping the first Nidus in the back of the natural in plain sight. I don't like that positioning, as yellowjellow was able to spot that very quickly, so that's a little bit of money down the drain for Kevin. Does deny that third, rather that drone from placing down that third. And now Kevin gonna switch things up back into the mutas, 4 more on the way, as well as 2 more evolution chambers. Although he already has 2 here, so not sure why both players going for 4 Evo, but this is the game we're in. As well as an infestation pit from Kevin. I suspect that's going to be just for a hive. So infestors always an option as well. Kevin trying to find an angle once again, but yellowjellow going to be repositioning that spore to deny that. And now Hydra's going to be picking off that overseer. Both players going for the third at the triangle location. Kevin, curiously enough, going to be the one to spread creep. And typically, it's not the muta player who spreads the creep, because the brunt of their army is going to be those mutas. And it's only ground units that benefit from creep. So all this creep benefiting yellowjellow at the moment. Of course, it does give Kevin vision, so not the worst thing either. And yellowjellow gonna be able to find a denial on this third, so nice catch there. No cancel. Ooh, mistake from Kevin, but banelings, slow banelings, gonna be able to clean this up along with the lings, of course. And yellowjellow gonna be losing a lot of these expensive hydras, so I'm not sure if that was really worth it. Kevin floating a ton of money right now. I'd like to see him drop maybe a macro hatch or 2. And what were these mutas doing? They were just hanging out back here. Would have been useful in the fight, but now all yellowjellow's units gonna go down. Does have his third base, whereas Kevin does not. So the longer this goes on, the better it is for yellowjellow. Now Kevin, he could perhaps go for another attack like he did in game number 1, just mass banelings and mutas, but he's going up to ultralisks. And it's going to be very difficult for yellowjellow to defend against ultralisks. He's going to go for another attack here. Going to find this drone once again, denying the third, but the army of Kevin pretty fearsome in its own right. Lings and banes. Banelings, of course, very powerful against these light units of yellowjellow, who is going up to lurkers. So that is one way he can potentially deal with ultralisks. But he should go up to a hive and get those very important upgrades. Does have the infestation pit already, so he should try to get a hive. Not going for that yet, however. And Kevin, he does have his ultralisk cavern completed, researching that chitinous plating for the extra armor. Don't see any ultras on the way yet, however. Kevin is a bit supply blocked, starting up 5 overlords. And now yellowjellow gonna be the one going for a Nidus this time. Very curious, and yellowjellow gonna try to get these few mutas. Does get a couple of them. And this infestor was a little late to the party. If they had landed that fungal, it would have been lights out for those mutas, but that's not really Kevin's focus any longer, as he is transitioning to a very scary ground-based army, the Ling Bane Ultralisks, and now the Nidus coming down from yellowjellow. Kevin spots that. He's going to start working on it with 7 of his mutas. And yes, he is going to get it. So both players failing in the Nidus department. Kevin's 2-2 is finishing up. His ultras are taking to the field. There they go. Look at these big, beefy space cows. Look at that. And yellowjellow, he did get up to his hive. He is starting those pivotal, essential, vital upgrades for his lurkers. And does he have any idea about the ultras just yet? Oh yeah, of course, he spotted that with the Nidus, so he knows about that. He should morph more lurkers. 3, not really gonna be enough. And I don't like this moving out onto the map. He is at risk of just getting caught by a swarm of Lingbane and Ultra. And now in they go. Kevin gonna be looking for a fight. And yes, all of the green Zerg just completely melting to that army. Oh my goodness. And Kevin with a lot of overseers to make sure he can spot those lurkers. Very poor move out by yellowjellow. I don't think he had his lurker upgrades just yet. Yeah, he's still just getting that adaptive talents. So no real reason to move out at that point. His 2-2 wasn't even done, as it's just finishing now. So very poor choice there from yellowjellow, and that puts him massively behind. And Kevin, he is just chilling. He is getting more units. He's sitting on 7 ultras and a lot of Lingbane. These mutas still alive, though they're not that important anymore in this game. And Kevin going to be going for an attack now, and this could very well be the kill move. 5 lurkers, 5 more on the way, so That could be very powerful defensively. I would like if he split them a little bit more, as they're gonna explode to the banelings, and yeah, with the vision from the overseers, these lurkers gonna get chomped away by the ultras. Heavy damage on both sides, but Kevin gonna walk away with the victory here. And yellowjellow, I don't see how he can really stabilize and get himself back into the game. Would expect a GG any second now. He's trying to morph some lurkers, but yeah, that's probably not going to do a whole lot with these overseers in the air. And these ultras just going to hug everything to death. GG gets called, and kevinnleee going to take a 3-0 lead. Alright, we are loaded into game number 4 in the CrayZvZ between yellowjellow and kevinnleee. Yeah, a bit of a rhyme going on over there. And game number 4 going to be played on Curious Minds. Once again, a new map. This map has a purplish theme going on. We've got some... where are they? There it is. These atom things. I don't know what element this is. I failed high school chemistry? I don't even know if that's the right subject, but yeah. Anyways, yellowjellow gonna be once again going for the drone scout, and the curious thing about this map, see what I did there? See what I did there? The map name? See what I did there? Curious thing about this map is these two rocks in the middle of the map. They can be broken down to create a more direct path, but I do have a lot of HP. And third bases, both of them are pretty out there. And then there are these sensor towers, whatever you call them, watchtowers. What are these called? I forget. But you know what I mean. These watchtowers at the middle-ish edge of the map. So if you place a ground unit there, it provides you a nice little circular vision. And whoa, I completely missed that. Yellowjellow went for an early pool, so he is going to be trying to bring the heat in this game. We have got 6 slings already making their way across, 2 more bringing up the rear, and Kevin, he has just finished his spawning pool. He's gonna need to defend against this. Now, this is not that scary from yellowjellow. What Kevin needs to do is pull about, I don't know, 8 or so drones and just go, because you do not want to lose this hatchery. But he might be able to buy enough time as these lings come out. But no, it looks like yellowjellow just gonna commit to it. He should commit to it at this point. Hello? He does get it, and that's a good enough move by yellowjellow. But he does need to be wary of this counterattack now. He did spot that with this overlord, so he is getting some zerglings. And he just needs to make sure he does not lose this hatchery or any drones, and I think he'll be fine. He is behind a few workers, but he has that hatchery. He can catch up very quickly if he needs to. But Kevin not going for the hatchery. He wants to go for the kill, and not really going to be able to find that in the main base. So instead, goes back down, and oh no, 3 drones over there. Bit of a mistake from yellowjellow, and he needs to keep this hatchery. Oh no. This is a mirror image of what just happened on the other side of the map. So now Kevin swinging the game back in his favor. He has speed, whereas yellowjellow does not. And it was looking good at first for yellowjellow, but once again, with the hatchery going down, it's gonna be bad news for the green Zerg. Kevin has now reclaimed his natural base. He has a drone lead. He's going for a vast layer. This is insanity. A layer on 17 workers. Going for a roach warren as well. I don't really think you can do anything with a layer at this stage in the game. You barely have any mining. 5 roaches on the way. What is the point to get like a early roach speed? I don't like it, but we'll see how it goes. I think the lead from Kevin gonna be pretty massive at this point. Looks like yellowjellow went for a bit of a baneling attack, and don't know how much he really got there. Maybe a few lings, but yeah, not the most worth it from yellowjellow, as he is now droning back up. Gonna take the lead in the worker department now, just by 1. And another singular baneling. What are these attacks? You don't go with just 1 baneling. And this overlord is gonna get chased down by a queen there. And yellowjellow with a lot of lings. Gonna be making a bit of an attack now for banelings in the back, but that's a good amount of roaches. And oh, Kevin cleaning up these overlords on his side of the map. yellowjellow sending 1 ling into scout. He's gonna see a lot of roaches. And what is this drone doing? Oh no! Why? And uh-oh. Kevin moving out with his lings, but yellowjellow's lings are over here doing nothing. Absolutely nothing! Oh no! And Kevin could find massive damage over here. And yellowjellow gonna run home, but he's gonna lose about everything in the process. I would have preferred to just see a counterattack, as 7 drones already going down. And I think Kevin could have found more damage in the main, but settling for those 7 drones, and that's going to put yellowjellow behind once again. And in the back of all this, Kevin has gotten burrow. He's getting burrow movement on his roaches. He has this roach speed already, and so he's going to go for some burrow movement roaches. And that's gonna do a lot because there's no detection out of yellowjellow. Sometimes you see people going for double roach warren with this strategy. I would have liked to see that out of Kevin. I mean, he had to wait for his speed to finish. Now he's waiting for the burrow movement to finish. So that delays his attack a lot. Might have been worth it to just go down to double roach warren. In any case, that upgrade gonna be completing soon, and he is gonna be moving across the map, and I don't think yellowjellow is gonna be able to defend against this. Once again, drones rallied to their deaths. Why do you do this, yellowjellow? Please. But counterattack from yellowjellow with the lings, gonna draw everything back, and if yellowjellow was paying attention, he would see these shiny little spines on the roaches, and that tells him that they have burrow movement. So if yellowjellow was paying attention, if he knew that that's a tell, then he could throw down some spores, but it looks like no. Oh wait, yes, he does have a spore here, but there's just way too much red, and GG gets called. Kevin with the 4-0. Alright, welcome back to game number 5 in this series between yellowjellow and kevinnleee. Kevin with the 4-0 lead right now, making a bit of a statement after he fell to yellowjellow in their last encounter. But yellowjellow does have his moments in some of these games. Not so much in the last game, but still. He is putting up a fight in some of these games, but still, 4-0 does not bode well for the green Zerg, as he is going for an early pool once again. Gas as well. So going for a speedling rush, I think. Kevin gonna be once again going for the hatchery first, as it hasn't failed him yet this series. And this map, Berlingrad, a new map once again. And this map, the thirds, kind of out there, kind of both vulnerable. And there's a ramp straight up into the natural that is blocked by rocks and minerals, but they can be cleared up. And then there's some more rocks out in the middle of the map that can be broken down to create more paths. Now yellowjellow, he does have his lings out already. He's getting speed, does run right under a overlord, so Kevin gonna be aware of this pretty early. It would have been better to go for this path. And yes, it's a new map, but you know you're sending your overlord across like that, so it's probably gonna go that direction. And Kevin actually going for the cancel. I don't like that. That puts him behind already. And yes, he has the drone lead, but that base very important for a Zerg player, as that is 50% of your production. And the spine crawler going down as well. yellowjellow continuing to put on the pressure. Gotta be careful. Don't wanna get your lings trapped in the minerals, but good control from yellowjellow so far, evening up the worker count. He has his own natural base on the way, whereas Kevin does not. So good damage already. And of course yellowjellow's speed just finished. I really would rather him continue to put the pressure on, especially since he has speed and his opponent does not. But he instead goes all the way home. And yeah, kind of a waste right now. All these lings, they're doing nothing right now. He should be putting on some more pressure, trying to get like a denial on this base once again. But just chilling right now. And that's a bit of a mistake there. Kevin gonna be running across, trying to find some damage, but don't think he'll be able to get anything done. yellowjellow has a good amount of lings of his own. So yeah, looks like things are gonna slow down a bit right now. And Kevin gonna be going for a Roach Warren once again, going for double gas. So is he gonna go for some kind of Ravager build maybe? This is a lot of gas that I don't really think he needs, unless he's going for another layer burrow kind of play. yellowjellow now making his way across once again, gonna see if he can find any damage. Takes a few bites out of that hatchery, but not really going to be able to find too much more than that. But hold on, 2 banelings in the mix. Now that might be able to find something, as long as these banes don't crash into queens. And oh, big shot there, and that's a big opportunity for yellowjellow. He can get both these queens, might even be able to get the hatchery now. And yeah, just go for the hatchery, I think. Don't want to risk going into the main. And down goes the hatchery again. Not sure why he fights the broodlings, losing a few lings unnecessarily there. And yeah, don't think you should go into the main with these roaches and the spine there. But that is huge damage already, taking out the hatchery once again. And I don't think yellowjellow needs to force the issue right now. Just kind of contain your opponent. And that is probably going to be enough. He's sitting on 2 bases. He's got a hefty worker lead. So don't need to get too crazy here. I like that, trying to go for a cheeky little hidden baneling, but Kevin a little bit too smart for that. And now yellowjellow gonna run in and think twice about that after taking a peek at those roaches. But yeah, that's some good damage out of yellowjellow. And did he spot the morphing layer? I think he did actually, but I don't know if he paid attention. As you can see, there's a little bit of like, I don't know what you even want to call that there. The beginnings of the morph. So I don't know if he paid attention. And might find a queen. No, the roaches are there in time. But oh my goodness, Kevin stuck on 1 base for so long. And now finally putting down that hatchery. And yellowjellow going for his lair as well. He has a roach warren as well. He's getting his evolution chamber. So yellowjellow holding all the chips right now. Kevin does have his lair completed just a little bit quicker. So he has his roach speed just a little bit quicker, but the worker lead for yellowjellow is so massive. So we take a look at the income graph. It has been all yellowjellow for the past 4-ish minutes. Not sure why there was a brief little blip there for the red Zerg, but most of the game has been yellowjellow. Kevin's natural expansion about to finish up, but he really needs more right now, and once again he's going for the burrow play, and that is one way that he can find his way back into the game if yellowjellow is unaware. But yellowjellow dotting his T's and crossing his I's, gonna be getting some preemptive spore crawlers, also gonna be morphing an overseer, 2 of them rather, 3 of them rather, 4 of them, so being extra safe. Some very smart moves from yellowjellow, recognizing that that's one way he could throw this game, so being very safe in that regards. He's also getting Carapace, his own roach speed, as well as Overlord's speed. Now I don't like this, he's moving out before his upgrades are done, but I suppose by the time he gets there it will be done, so scratch that thought, it's actually fine by him. Yeah, definitely want to wait for those few seconds for that to finish, as it does. And now Kevin gonna have a tough hold on his hands. yellowjellow has the Carapace upgrade. Kevin does not have any upgrades. But yellowjellow kind of respecting this a little too much. He definitely could just go for the kill right now. Only 3 Ravagers, that's not going to be enough to bile down an Overlord. Fun fact, it needs 4 biles, so write that down, all you Zerg players watching. It does take 4 biles to kill an Overlord. And yellowjellow going to be giving his opponent some time to muster up the defenses. And if these upgrades finish, that might be enough for Kevin to hold and break out of this, but still, the army lead absolutely massive for yellowjellow, who's morphing in another Overseer. I don't think you need that many right now. But okay, better safe than sorry, I suppose. And now yellowjellow is going to be going in again. Going to bile down 1 spine crawler. And just going for the straight up fight. No dodging of the biles from Kevin. And that's gonna be a yellowjellow victory finally in game number 5. Oh, filing his own units, but doesn't really matter. Upgrades for Kevin does finish, but it's just too little too late. He is being overrun by the green roaches right now. And it's just a matter of time before we see a GG. Drones being pulled to fight as well. Even if he holds, I mean, he is still so behind in terms of the workers. And yellowjellow continuing to stream across the map, and GG, yellowjellow finally puts himself on